Welcome to the final part of Castlevania Rondo of Blood. We are now going to take the fight to Dracula for the 7th or 8th time. Actually, I don't even know how many times it's been. It's been like 1,000 years and over 10 million games in the series. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think the actual timeline ends at around the 2030s or 2040s. So, in 10 years' time, this will come to a head. But enough about that. Let's actually talk about Dracula X, the Super Nintendo conversion of this game, and why I don't plan on playing that game for the channel anytime soon. The main reason why I'm not going to play Dracula X is because, quite frankly, it's just really inferior to this game in every way. Except for the music, though. The music in Dracula X, the Super Nintendo version, that's still A+. But the stage design, it's lacking. Everything is lacking. They cut significant portions of the levels out, as well as the cutscenes. Well, it's probably for the best for the cutscenes, but the levels themselves just feel really uninspired and bland. There was also Richter's death animation in the American version. No need for me to go any further about that. Although in the Japanese version they kept this blood red, because of course they do. I mean, come on, the ESRB was already a thing in 1995. Why not just keep his blood red and make the game a T or M rating? Okay, for this part, you need to kill the bird in order to get that key. This key will unlock the final mistress in the game, Annette. I forgot the other mistresses even exist because I'm a terrible person. Oh, they weren't that important anyway. No, I'm kidding. They are important for 100% completion and validation and bragging rights if you're into that sort of thing. I just kind of know. But I would like to complete 100% complete Rondo of Blood eventually, just not right now. I never really saw a point in rescuing the princesses. Wow.
Annette! Oh, Maria! Are you all right, Maria?
Yeah, I'm just fine because I have the same vampire hunter's blood flowing in me as that man Richter. I think he's fighting someplace else right now.
Richter's coming.
Oh my! Looks like you hoped it wouldn't be me who came to save you.
Oh no, that's not what I meant. Thank you very much, Maria. Come on, let's go home.
Not yet. There's still something I have to do. You go back without me. I'm gonna beat that vampire to a bloody pulp. See you!
Maria! For heaven's sake, she can be as reckless as Richter.
The lip syncing doesn't even match. This truly is anime. Rescuing all of the maidens may require me to practice a bit more on this game because I don't know where they all are. And also, there are alternate stages in this game, so I could land into a pit and somehow find myself in stage 2B where there are no maidens in sight. For some reason, I just went on a different side tangent and I forgot what I was talking about. It was freaking Dracula X. Oh yeah, the character I'm playing as right now, Maria, she's not in Dracula X. Well, she is in Dracula X, she's just not playable. And therefore, she's just another damsel in distress. I can't even whack people with birds in the Super Nintendo version, that is so lame! And not only just that, the reason why they cut Maria as a playable character was because limitations. That's why. So yeah, the Super Nintendo Dracula X game is not my favorite. But on the bright side, really great graphics for a Super Nintendo game as well as a really good soundtrack. That soundtrack is, I think in my honest opinion, is better than the TurboGrafx one. These knights with the claymores have two different attacks. One overhead swing, which you have to back away from, and I love that death shout. And the other is just a stab forward, which you have to duck under. They're not that hard. With Richter, you have to utilize the backflip a bit more. Yes, I know, you put your red lobster in the microwave. Maybe not reheat fish next time. I don't think I've talked about Maria's sub-weapons, have I? Wow, we're on the final part of Castlevania Rondo of Blood, and I have not talked about one of the character's sub-weapons. Okay, so, Maria's sub-weapons are animals. As you can see, one of them's a dragon, which is blocking the HUD right there, I can't even tell how many number of hearts I have. The dragon goes straight forward in a horizontal line. It cuts through basically anything that's in its path. Pretty good for a whole row of enemies. Then you got the cat, which will continuously bump into a single enemy and will also go in a horizontal line. It's good for a singular target. The parakeet sub-weapon will go diagonally up in 2 different directions, so Maria's got some air coverage there. And the turtle is basically just a Buzzy Beetle from Mario Brothers. Will protect Maria from any oncoming damage. There is a secret move that I have no real idea on how to pull off, but it's actually pretty cool. It's just Maria using like a clone jutsu or a body double of her in karate gi, and she just starts fucking up the enemy with martial arts skills. It's actually really cool. Alright, we're approaching the penultimate boss of this game, who is Shaft! As a ghost. Man, he really is a bad mother. Shut your mouth! I was only talking about Shaft. No, I'm serious. It's Shaft again. He returns. And this form of Shaft is way more deadly than his earthly form. Super Ghost Phantom Shaft has a whole bunch of different attacks that will catch you off guard and will probably kill you, like this fucking dragon right here that shoots fireballs. He is actually really awesome. And there's another attack which you have to watch out for, especially as Richter, because you have to time your backflip carefully. Not so much with Maria, because she could just backflip or double jump at will whenever she wants. This bore along the ground, very dangerous. But other than those 2 attacks, the boss fight is really kind of not that bad, honestly. It's really kind of fun because of the dragon. Did that orb just fall out of Shaft's ass? You know what? I don't even want to know. You know what? Let's just do the most dramatic Castlevania pose we can and finish the game, shall we?
Give me power! Impossible! Not this time!
Once again, the blood of Belmont has defeated me. Perhaps this, too, is part of my fate.
It's your fault for being so mean to everyone.
It is not by my own power that I am resurrected. It is the greed of humanity which calls me back. And thus, by might, I rule. Might becomes the one and only justice in this world.
I don't understand what that means. No matter how complicated you make it, a bad thing is still a bad thing.
So long as greedy humans exist, I shall be reborn. That's all you need to remember. You proved amusing to me. We shall meet again, Blood of Belmont.
What you think is so funny?
It's kind of fucked up you did that.
Let's defeat Dracula for reals this time. Now, fighting Dracula as Richter is basically like the Castlevania 1 boss fight. Yeah, that's literally what it is. It's Castlevania 1 all over again. He does throw in a couple of curveballs, and by curveballs I mean lightning orbs, but other than that, he's just his regular old self. Dracula will start off the fight by throwing his fireballs at you, which can be destroyed with your cross-up weapon or your whip. His head is the only weak point on his body, just like in the original game. Dracula will also occasionally throw out the shocking death balls that you have to avoid. You cannot destroy those with your whip. And those are his only two attacks for Form 1. I might as well talk about the Super Nintendo version of this boss fight because it is different. But different doesn't exactly mean good, now does it? Dracula is pretty cheap to fight in Dracula X. For one thing, there are bottomless pits in the room where you're fighting him, so falling into that will mean instant death. And the hitbox is his head, like always, but sometimes it doesn't really work out that way because you can be on a lower platform than he is, and you just can't reach up in order to hit him in the face. His second and final form in that game is ironically not as bad as his first form, but there's still the problem of the pit. It's a special case. But if you really had the choice to play Rondo of Blood over Castlevania Dracula X, Just play Rondo of Blood, this is the way better game. And for the Castlevania Super Nintendo games, do I really need to answer that question? Just play Castlevania 4. Now, here are my closing thoughts on Castlevania Rondo of Blood. I kind of want to get to that right now. It's a good game. A fairly unique entry for the series. It feels good to play. Now, I don't really care for the clean, very shiny art style, but that's just me, and maybe some other people will like it. I also like having multiple playable characters. This was introduced in Castlevania 3 and is carried over into a bunch of different Castlevania games, including the next game in the lineup, Bloodlines. In fact, I think they just perfected it in Bloodlines. They just give you 2 characters right on the spot. You don't have to unlock anybody. Now, would I play this game over Castlevania 4 or Bloodlines? No, but I'll definitely play this over 2 and 3 any day. Alright, Final Form Dracula is even easier than his first form. He just jumps and shoots, that's it. He might as well be Mega Man. Now, if you're crouching next to him, he'll jump even higher than if he's just right far away from you. And his fireballs, he always shoots at a downwards arc, so if you're far enough away, they'll never touch you. You know, it's a good thing that toenails don't really impale Belmont. Oh damn, I forgot he had a second attack in this form. For that attack, you just duck under. Yeah, you just duck under it. It's not that hard. Ow, stop doing that with your toenail. And Dracula's been defeated once again. At this rate, I think the Belmont clan and Dracula will live up to the year 3000. But the next game in the series doesn't take place in 3000, it takes place during World War I. Join me next time for Castlevania Bloodlines.
Once again, the blood of Belmont has defeated me. Perhaps this, too, is part of my fate.
Death to you! The world is not yours to exist in!
It is not by my own power that I am resurrected. It is the greed of humanity which calls me back. And thus, by might, I rule. Might becomes the one and only justice in this world.
Of all the self-serving claptrap! The same basic fate drives all people to seek, to come together, to move forward. That surely can't be an evil thing.
And yet, here I am. Do you not have any desires?
Well,
it is by your desires that you humans prosper, and it is your faith which has ruled you. Considering that, can you really call me evil?
but people cannot be ruled by power alone. The sacred, the honorable, the loved, those things can rule humanity. Something evil will eventually fall to ruin!
I see. Perhaps you're right. We shall meet again, Blood of Belmont.